In this video, let's do a quick recap of all the things we've learned in this module so far, and we'll also understand how the three financial statements are connected. We started the module by understanding the difference between technical and fundamental analysis. We quickly moved to understand how to read an annual report. We went through the annual report of a company and understood which are the sections that you need to pay attention to. Then we moved forward to understand what a P&L statement is, the numbers that matter there. We understood what the balance sheet is all about, and eventually looked at the cash flow statement, which according to me is one of the most important financial statements of a company. We also looked at examples of how you can look at a cash flow statement and use that as a starting point for your fundamental analysis journey. Let's go ahead and understand how the three statements are interconnected to each other. None of these statements should be viewed in isolation, because in reality, all three statements are deeply connected. For instance, in your P&L statement, the bottom line of the company, that is the profit after tax, straight away flows into the balance sheet in the reserves and surplus section of the balance sheet, which, as you can recollect, is on the liability side of the balance sheet. Now, on the asset side, the balance sheet also states the cash position of the company. Now, that number comes from the cash flow statement. So the last line of the cash flow statement, which is the net cash, flows into the asset side of the balance sheet and sits in the current asset sides of the balance sheet. So also on the P&L side, we've also got the yearly depreciation number, which is in the expense side of the P&L statement. That number flows from P&L and sits in the accumulated depreciation of the balance sheet. So therefore, all these statements are connected and none of them should be looked at in isolation. Finally, the balance sheet on the liability side also states the borrowing of the company, which you can match up against the finance charges stated in the P&L of the company. Finance charges are simply the interest that the company pays towards the borrowing it has on the balance sheet. For example, let's say a company has about 1,000 crores of borrowing on its balance sheet, and the finance charges of a company is roughly about 100 crores. It means to say that company has an effective borrowing rate of 10%. Now you can do this quick and dirty math to figure out the effective borrowing rate of a company. Let me conclude this video by taking you through the key line items that you need to pay attention to when you are analyzing a financial statement. For example, in a P&L statement, do pay particular attention to the top line, that's the revenue generated by the company. Try and analyze the expense and identify which are those line items which are heavy on the expense side. Do try to understand why they are heavy and why is it so expensive for the company. And finally, try to understand the effective tax rate of a company, and then obviously look at the PAT of the company. On the balance sheet side, do pay a lot of attention to the borrowings of a company, because if the borrowings are heavy, that means to say the company is highly leveraged, and when the business cycles change, the company may not be able to sustain a leveraged balance sheet. So do pay particular attention to the borrowings of a company. Do pay attention to the accounts receivable. Ensure that it's not bloated, because you don't want the company to have much of its finances stuck in receivable side. Further, do pay attention to the cash the company has. It gives you a sense of how much access they have to capital in case the business situation turns, for example, COVID. As far as the cash flow is concerned, do pay attention to all the three line items. That's the cash flow from investing, operating, and financing activity. Key takeaways from this video are: